their investigation into the possible ties between Jesse Matthew, who is charged with the abduction of Hannah Graham, and the abduction and murder of Morgan Harrington. Morgan was last seen here in Charlottesville, a 20-year-old Virginia Tech student, last seen here on October 17th, 2009, almost exactly 5 years ago. Her remains were found 3 months later. Virginia State Police have already confirmed that there is a forensic link between Mr. Matthew and Morgan's murder. So the question becomes then, where was Jesse Matthew 5 years ago? I have learned that he was living here in Charlottesville in an apartment complex, and he was driving a cab. He was driving a cab for Access Taxi. It was a light brown van cab, and interestingly enough, there are eyewitnesses who say that Morgan was last seen getting into a van. We can confirm here, and sources close to the investigation have told me that police now have, after much searching, they have seized that same van cab that Mr. Matthew was driving in October of 2009, and we can assume that forensic investigations will begin immediately into what they might find in that cab.
I'm hearing also, Coy, that you spoke to the company that owned that van that Matthew purchased. What can you tell us about that?
I actually spoke with a person who worked for many years alongside Mr. Matthew. I was with this person this morning, getting some of this person's memories of what took place and what he was like. And while we were talking, this person's cell phone rang, and the Virginia State Police were on the line, asking to speak with them immediately when they were done with me. So I can also confirm that the state police are reaching out to all the former employees of that cab company, and they are interviewing them, trying to learn where exactly was Jesse Matthew on the night that Morgan Harrington went missing, and what was his behavior like in the wake of that incident. I can also report here for the first time that this person told me when the wanted police sketch was released, police were searching for a man related to the abduction of Morgan Harrington, and this sketch was released, that everybody who worked with Jesse Matthews started teasing him and saying that he looked exactly like that guy in the sketch. That has not been reported. I just learned it this morning, and I asked this person, how did he react? And they said, well, some days he would laugh about it, other days he was very quiet about it. But they were all convinced, all the people that he worked with at the cab company, that he looked exactly like the guy in the sketch. And now, 5 years later, it would appear that police believe so as well.
Tom, the Virginia State Police say they do have some sort of forensic link, not describing what it is, between Matthew and Harrington, the young woman. But they filed no charges against Matthew for the murder. It's a 5-year-old case. How hard would it be to develop a real case against this guy in connection with the death of this young woman?
Well, apparently it is difficult to put all these pieces of evidence together to have it get to a point where they can bring murder charges against him. So it's obviously a methodical effort on their part to try to get the information correct. One question I would have is, going back to the time when these employees were teasing him about looking like the sketch, did anybody think about calling the police or making the comparison that not only did he look like the sketch, but drove a similar vehicle to what was being reported as the last vehicle she got into. So, that part of the investigation obviously needs to be renewed now and try to add that part of it to it.
Just to be precise, Coy, did they find any forensic evidence in that van?
That has not been reported. I can't confirm that at all. But we do know, and we can confirm, that they do have that van that he was driving 5 years ago, and that is now in police custody.
The whole notion, though, that these cases, he's in jail right now, this Jesse Matthew, Tom, and so far they're holding him without bail, obviously, but it looks like it's going to be pretty difficult to file formal charges, especially if they don't find, this young woman, the body of Hannah Graham.
Right, and now doing the forensics on that van will be difficult because you will have literally hundreds of people that will have been in that vehicle over the course of time, leaving samples of their DNA. So there will be a lot of samples of DNA to try to compare to see if any compare to Morgan Harrington.
We're going to leave it there. Tom Fuentes, Coy Barefoot. We'll continue our conversations. Obviously, we're watching this story closely. Coming up, airport workers on strike over safety